introduction. Yes, I am the Career Development Coordinator at Seneca College, and the Career Development Department is here to help you with anything to do with employment preparation, career growth. So we're happy that you are here to have a chat with us. Today is going to be a casual chat, and it's going to focus on the question of how can I improve my odds of getting hired if I have no experience. So I'm sure you know that it's a catch-22, and students want or graduates want to get a job and they have no work experience. But employers, on the other hand, want to hire people, but they're looking for experience. So how does one get their first job, right? So let me start with the students who are at the beginning of your study. If you're in the first semester, second semester, you can avoid this catch-22 by making sure that you have an action plan in your career plan, whereby you put gaining experience as one of the action items. You have the gift of time, so it's good if you can be able to use it. So if your program has optional co-op, take it. That would be my suggestion. If it has mandatory co-op, then you're lucky. But if your program does not have any any integrated experiential learning component, so I would suggest that you get part-time jobs or freelancing or volunteering opportunities so that you can be able to equip yourselves with the necessary experience and skills. I would suggest that you book an appointment with a career development coordinator so that you can be able to talk about the jobs that you expect to get, the skills that would be good for you for the jobs that would be suitable for your program, and then work it into a career plan whereby you gain experience that will position you very well to get the opportunities that you want when you graduate.
That's a great information. But Juliet, what if I'm about to graduate, but I have no work experience? What skills and attributes would these employers look for when they're hiring with a person who has no experience in it?
Okay, so let me start with the last part of the question, that is the skills and attributes that employers are looking for from someone without experience. Employers are looking for motivation to work and a willingness to learn. That is very important. They are looking that you have developed and can demonstrate the core skills that are sought after across all industries. So that could be things like communication, teamwork, customer relations, and a demonstrated work ethic. So to get more information about these types of skills, I would encourage you to register for one of the career chats on interpersonal skills, which is scheduled for November 30th. So if you're a student close to graduating but with no work experience, think about all those skills that you have acquired through life. So let's go one by one. Let's think about if you have any work experience that is not related. Uh, Employers value skills that you are getting even from jobs that are not related. At a minimum, they are looking at the fact that you can commit and that you can show up on time and that you can work hard throughout the shift. They're looking for transferable skills. So let's take an example of McDonald's. If you work at McDonald's, you definitely learned teamwork, customer service, problem solving, communication, working in a fast-paced environment, working under pressure. All those are skills that the employers are looking for in the very first job. So that immensely helps you to get hired. So when you're listing this type of work experience on your resume, make sure you don't focus on the tasks per se, but you talk about the tasks that you did and how you did those tasks. And when you're describing how you did those tasks, it will be clear, it will be easy for you to highlight your transferable skills that are relevant to the job. So, secondly, if you have done some volunteering, know that volunteering equips you with skills that are of interest to employers. again, even if it is not related to your field, think of all those interpersonal skills that are transferable to the workplace. Again, let's take an example of volunteering as a smile mentor in Seneca College. Again, you've acquired skills like communication, problem solving, because you're dealing with students. You're dealing with students who have issues. They don't know how to do their timetable. They don't know where to go for such and such an event. And you're giving them information and resources. So you're developing problem solving skills, you're developing customer service skills, you're developing communication skills. So don't forget to highlight all those skills when you're talking about your volunteering opportunities. And again, if you want to distill it further and be able to think through what skills can I be able to highlight, that chart that I mentioned for interpersonal skills, what can I do to make myself more attractive to employers, would be a good one for you to attend. Now, thirdly, if you have done some extracurricular activities, like say sports, the arts, maybe you've worked on the student council, debating club, whatever club that you have definitely developed some skills that you can also show off on your resume when you're talking to employers. So, Ritik, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of the skills that you have acquired in your role on student council?
That's a good question. So, being a student council, we get to learn a lot of things. So, as we know, like I started as a staff, and then I went to be a student council. So, as a student council, we get to know how to work as a team. We get to know how to make a decision. We get to know how we can like actually help students, how we can advocate students. So, for giving an example for all of these, so as we are working as a student council, we get to know that yes, we have to work with like student as a team. So we have a lot of council members who can be in our team, and we have to work as a team member, and we have to be upfront in all our aspects. Secondly, we have to make a decision making, like we have to do some policy changes, we have to make some decisions for students, we have to advocate students. That's how we can develop our skills as a student council. So I would really appreciate if you have a chance to spend some time in extracurricular activities, just go for it, and it's a good opportunity.
Excellent.
And over to you, Julia.
Excellent. And if you have been, say, for instance, in competitive sports or dancing, in a dancing program that required you to attend weekly for a year or two, that could demonstrate that you can commit for a job as well. So don't be shy to highlight all those extracurricular skills that you have attended. Now, fourthly, if you do not have any work experience at all, you have no volunteering, you have no internship, no part-time or work time or no part-time work experience, no extracurricular activities, then I suggest that you start engaging with life. It is very important to demonstrate that you can balance work and life. You can balance study and life, and engage in other things beyond academics. It's important for the employers to see. So if any of you in the audience don't have any work experience at all, I suggest that you make an appointment with me or any other career development coordinator to talk about what you want to do, where you want to go, what kind of skills you need for the program that you're doing and for the jobs that you want to work after you graduate. And then we'll explore together the possibilities and options for you to gain some of the skills and experience and put together a career plan that you can be able to work towards.
Hey Juliet, I'd like to add on into it. So as you mentioned, dancing. So even like I was into dancing, and I Seneca provides a lot of opportunities and a lot of platforms for the students to show up their talents, to showcase their talents, and dancing can really help you out. Even I started as Seneca's Got Talent for dancing, and extracurricular activities they do help to outstand from the other students.
Mhm.
So for the next thing, Juliet, I want to ask: are these employers who hire young people they have no experience?
Um, yes, are there any employers who hire young people with no experience? Yes. The short answer is yes. But let me break it down. So, for those students who have something to leverage. Maybe you have a part-time job, or you have some extracurricular activities, or you've been volunteering, you have more options. There are more employers that will be willing to work with you. All you need to do is to make sure that you are explicit in selling your skills on your resume and in your cover letter. But for those students who have no leverage, the ones who have no experience at all, no volunteering, no internship, no part-time jobs, no extracurricular activities, I suggest that you have a two-pronged strategy when you're looking for jobs. Yes, there are employers who can hire you, but you have to be more strategic and less picky. So in terms of the two-pronged approach, make sure that you apply for jobs in your technical field. That would be the first one. Some fields are on high demand, and the employers don't really care whether you have experience or not. For instance, if you're in a building systems program, there are probably more employers that are looking than there are students. If you're in the business analytics program, the employers will probably offer you a job probably even 6 months before you graduate. But not all programs are equal. So the second second strategy that you want to have is to apply for jobs in a field that has limited barriers to entry. So jobs that don't require work experience, and they may not even require college education, but will give you the necessary transferable skills.
That's really great. So, Juliet, I want to ask, many of these jobs, they say no experience required. They are all in sales? What if I'm not interested in sales, and how do I find a job that requires no experience but that will help me grow in my career?
Okay,
Can you answer me that?
I like the fact that you said if I'm not interested in sales. Let me start with that. I'll digress a little and start with that and say, if you don't like sales, I'd suggest take a sales job. Why? Because you will learn all the skills to sell yourself. Those skills will help you in promoting yourself, in job searching, and also in selling yourself in an interview. So don't underestimate the power of sales skills. Okay. So that would be one reason that I'd say get out of your comfort zone and go do something different and try and understand sales and how it is done, and be able to transfer that skill onto yourself. Okay, so now let me answer your question. You're answering what other, how could you find a job that requires no experience but will help your career grow? Okay, so I'd suggest that you ask yourself three questions when you're going to come to the list of employers that you can be able to apply to. First, ask yourself, what job can you do? Number two, what job do you want to do? Those are different questions. The third question is, what are you looking, what work are you looking for? And that is very similar to what job would you want to do? And lastly, which work environments would give you the transferable skills you're looking for? So let's take one at a time. What jobs can you do? I'd suggest that you figure out the jobs that are well suited for your program of study. So if you're taking, say, marketing, go onto the Seneca College website, check your marketing program page. Chances are in the section of overview, under careers, you will see a list of either jobs that you can do when you graduate and or the work environments that you can be able to work in. Okay. But they also sometimes list the skills that you'll be able to acquire during that program of study. So create that list so that you know what jobs you can do, right? Then as you're looking at those jobs, Google the name of the job and find other job descriptions. Maybe those job descriptions are on Indeed or on Job Bank, and find the description. What exactly does an employer expect of a person who's going to work in that job? Highlight the transferable skills, all those skills that are not technical skills. And then once you know those transferable skills, then you'll be able to turn it around and look for the employers that are in industries that are much easier to enter in and be able to and be able to apply for a job there. So let me give you an example. If you're taking the business insurance program or financial planning, and you know that some of the entry level jobs that you can do include, say, an insurance advisor, and you find out that some of the some of the transferable skills that you're expected to know include communication and customer service, well, then the question is, which other job that would give you customer service if it's not in insurance, and which other job could give you communication skills if it's not in insurance? Okay, and you can probably easily say retail can give you those kinds of skills. Hospitality can give you those kinds of skills. So again, look for those employers that are easier to penetrate. Now, when we look at the second question of what job do you want to do or what are you interested in, you need to really be clear on this, simply because I've had students who have come to me and say, Juliet, I've graduated and I'm looking for a job. I need some help. Okay, I'm here for you. My next question is, what job are you looking for? And if the answer is, I don't know, or anything really, well, then you need to get back to your career planning drawing board, because answering anything speaks to either lack of enthusiasm, desperation, or lack of focus. And neither of those make you look good, especially not to one employer. Because if I were to say to you, okay, I got a job for you, and that is, it's a grave digging job, and it's in winter, would you take it? Chances are you'd say, no, thank you. I have no muscles and I can't stand the cold. In which case, then, it's not anything. There is something. So figure out what that something is for you. So ask yourself, what gets you excited? What kind of jobs do you really get excited about? What are your career interests? Are you a thinker and want analytical work? Or are you an enterprising type that loves leading and taking risks? Or maybe you might be a handy person that loves to work alone outdoors. Or are you the kind of person who loves to help other people and want to work in, say, a not-for-profit? Are you a creative type that hates structure, but you can thrive on creativity? Or are you the organizing and improving systems kind of person? So ask yourself those questions. What are your career interests? Because those will lead you to choosing a work environment that will be more suited for you. Knowing yourself will help you focus on the jobs that will give you the needed transferable skills and the ones that you might actually want to do and enjoy doing, even if they're not yet in your professional field. So, as I mentioned about work environments, after you have identified the transferable skills that you want to develop, and you have figured out that maybe you're an introvert and you don't really care to work with people, okay, then maybe ask yourself what types of work environments would suit you and that personality. So, identify the industry that is much easier to penetrate, that will equip you with those specific skills that you're looking to. And going back to the insurance example, you want to develop customer service skills, you want to develop communication skills. As I mentioned, consider retail, maybe hospitality and food service. But hey, in financial services and banking, there are call centers, and they do often take people with no prior work experience. So, call service center that focuses on selling financial products would be a good one if you're in insurance trying to put your foot in the door in the financial services sector. And lastly, if you are if there are no employers that will give you a chance, for instance, you have tried everything, you have tried the entry level jobs in retail, and you're still not getting a chance, especially like now, it's a difficult economy. You might want to create your own luck. And what do I mean by that? Let me give an example. If you're in marketing, for instance, maybe you might want to start social media marketing. all on your own. Maybe you create a blog. Maybe you do some freelancing. There's lots of freelancing websites out there. You take a job here on social media development, and then you take another job there on maybe web design. Maybe you take another job there on doing some Photoshop, designing a business card, something. But as you're doing that, you're gaining valuable skills. And I'll give you one example. My daughter graduated in a tough economic year. She loved event planning, and she was like, okay, what can I do with this? So she decided, okay, let me start a business that organizes career conferences for high school students. So she went back to her teachers in high school and she talked about her concept, and they were like, yeah, we could fit that in. So anyway, to cut the long story short, after a few years, she learned how to plan, she learned how to organize, she learned how to promote events, she learned how to promote her own business, and she taught herself how to do websites, she taught herself how to use Photoshop, and by the time all was said and done, when she was ready, when the economy had turned around and she started applying for jobs, she actually got a job as a marketing coordinator, but she had not taken a marketing program. After that, she moved from that company and got a better job somewhere else. She is now working as a brand manager. Again, without a marketing background, but she was able to teach herself all these skills during that time when nobody could give her a chance. So do something you love, create your own opportunities.
Thank you, Juliet. Hi, everyone. It's Colleen speaking. Juliet, there was a question that was asked. Any advice for mature students over 40? And another one, any advice for students with a disability?
Okay, there are some resources. Let me start with the disability one. There are some resources for people with disabilities. What I would suggest is the person who has disabilities connect with us so that we can share those resources. There are many organizations that help people with disabilities and focus and actually have a pool of employers who are willing and able to take people with disabilities. So if you can connect with any of us, career development coordinators will help to share those resources. Now, in terms of the mature student, again, I would encourage you, because for most mature students, you usually have a long story of where you have been, what jobs you have done. Some you liked, some you didn't like. Maybe you want to change careers. Maybe you just want to grow the same career that you are in. There's so much that is going on that I can't be able to answer and give you specific advice that would be good for you. Book an appointment on Seneca Works and we'll be able to talk about your specific issue and be able to give you much more specific advice.
That's great. Thank you so much, Juliet. And we'll go for the questions from the chat box now.
Okay.
So first we have a question from Veronica. She says, what if I try to find a job not in the industry I studied, like part-time, where I don't have any experience? I don't know what to write in the resume. What should I write in that case?
Okay, good question. Now, we do have workshops on how to write a resume, and they start from the beginning. They start from walking you through what is a resume, what do you need to put in a resume, what are the main sections of a resume, and how can you be able to put it together, how should you write tips and tricks and all that stuff. So I'd suggest that you, again, go back to Seneca Works and identify the resume and cover letter workshop that will be able to help you on that.